Hello my friends, and welcome back. In today's live programming video, I'm going to show you how you can take a Rust project, any project really, and have it build on GitHub Actions using Nix instead of this whole mess of different stuff. I'm not a huge fan of GitHub Actions. I think it really went the wrong way, but it looks like it's here to stay. Like, we gotta work with it. So I think working with it through Nix is a pretty good way to work with it. So I have this project. This is a Rust project. It is called Coolish. Now, you may have seen Coolish, and basically what this is a bring your own links comment aggregator, which means that you go and you find a link that you find interesting. So I saw this today. The world depends on 60-year-old code no one knows anymore. So if you have the extension, the Notato extension, right click, read comments on Coolish, and it will fetch comments on the article from a whole bunch of sources and aggregate them, and you can filter, you can have just discussions. You know, for me it's the one and only way that I read online discussions anymore on articles. And so if you go to the main landing page, you have the list of the latest, you have what's popular today, and you can see where it searches for discussions, Hacker News, Lobsters, Reddit, Substack, and Lemmy, the Lemmyverse. So that's the project, right? And I don't have any GitHub Actions set up for it, so I figured, hey, why don't we do that today? So, I'll bring this over here. It's a bit better for my eyes. So we'll set up a directory .github/workflows, and we'll touch a file in there, workflows, and we'll call this build.yaml. So why don't we go ahead and open that up. So or is it build.ym? I'm guessing it's probably build.yml, because the LSP didn't kick in. Still didn't kick in. All right, let's see. Name build. And I actually just I just open sourced a new Rust project today called Satunki, and this has the workflow set up with Nix. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and I'm gonna take it from this because I'm not getting the auto completion for whatever reason. So I want this to trigger on push. I don't do pull requests here because it's just me developing it. And we're going to have one job. It's going to be called build. It's going to run on Ubuntu latest, and then we're going to do some steps. So first thing we want to do is we want to check out. We want to check out our code before we can do anything. Action/check out at version 4. You don't really need to do much with that. This is where it gets interesting. So, determinate actions have been doing such a great job lately. They have been doing such a great job. They've been killing it. Oh my god, Steam OS support? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Alright, so, based on their own usage, right, you just need to copy pasta this into here. And what this is going to do is it's going to install Nix. It's going to do all the things. It's going to be as if you have NixOS installed on your runner, right? And then you can interact with any of the regular old Flake commands. However, before we do that, there is another action, the Nix Magic Cache, or the Magic Nix Cache action, which is really going to speed things up for you so much. So this is a collaboration with the author of Attic. I believe the name is Nix Attic. By Jiaofeng Li in Salt Lake City, Utah. So this is a self-hosted Nix binary cache. So if you've used CacheX, it's like that, but self-hosted, and it comes with all the caveats of self-hosted software. This, unless they have changed it. Oh, there is no more reference to Attic here. Oh, or there is. I just didn't see it. Or the search didn't see it. Attic? Huh? That's so weird. Is this not based on Attic anymore? README. Or maybe this is an old README. Anyway, at least it used to be based on Attic, and the backend that it plugged into was the GitHub Actions cache backend. Anyway, it makes things very fast after the first successful build, because it will push all of the stuff that you need for subsequent builds to the GitHub Actions cache, everything from the Nix store, and then next time when you run, after you do the Nix installation, you'll get all of those artifacts back, and then, you're not going to have to rebuild any of those, which is going to save you a lot of time. And if you're on a bigger team, it's going to save you even more time. So we have this done. So at this point, we have checked out our repository. We've installed Nix. We have gotten any cached Nix store artifacts if we need to. And then we are just going to do Nix Build. Nix Build dot. And so that's going to be the exact same thing as me doing Nix Build dot here. I've already built this recently, so that's all cached and it was very fast. And so I think, like, if you just want a build job on GitHub Actions, regardless of, if it's a Rust project, it's a Go project, whatever, if you have your project building in a Nix flake, these 4 lines are basically all that you need to have build validation jobs running on GitHub Actions. So I'm gonna git add build.yaml. I'm gonna git cz this with there should be a CI. Yeah, CI GitHub add build validation action. So we'll hit that, we'll hit push. And now that should be triggering off an action here. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now it's not, well, I was gonna say it's not particularly exciting, but I think that is actually what makes it very exciting. Like, instead of going around the GitHub Actions marketplace looking for, is it called the marketplace? Looking for poorly developed, poorly maintained actions written in really janky ass JavaScript. GitHub Actions, I have opinions. I'm not going to get into all of them, but I don't like this. This whole thing here is not for me. So if you would like to go back to a more traditional, sane CI setup, it's really easy to leverage Nix. So what do we have here? We ran the Nix installer action. Nix was successfully installed. On this particular runner, KVM is not available, so that was not enabled. There was nothing to pick up from the magic cache though. What is this diagnostic endpoint doing? Is that... What are you guys doing with the magic cache? Let's investigate. Systems, magic cache, Nix. Diagnostic endpoint. Ooh, this one's written in Rust. To send diagnostics and performance data. So maybe we should set this to 0. I did not know that had been introduced. I don't think it was there at the start. Wait, let me git blame this and see when that was introduced. Kinda sus. That was introduced 6 months ago. Accept diagnostics as an argument even though it doesn't do anything. Alright, so let's see how to set that to off. Telemetry. But where do you send that flag? That's not very helpful. Oh, there's attic. Finally. Found it. Right, okay. I don't see how to pass this. Because we're just running the use. Can I can't even set that from an environment variable. Strange, very strange. Maybe it's in the manifest, right? Like it should have a manifest, shouldn't it? See usage for a detailed example. That's it. All right. I don't know how to disable the diagnostics. If anybody knows, please do give me heads up. Anyway, we did that. And now we're running the Nix Build, getting a whole bunch of stuff from the cache as well. And then only building the stuff that we need to. So these are all of the Rust dependencies coming through. And so these are all the things that will eventually be magic cached. And I think I can show you guys this. This is actually an older project that I haven't migrated off of NERSC. So there are two big Nix Rust build tools out right now. There's NERSC, and there is, oh gosh, what's the name of the other one? I use it for Notado. Nix Rust Build. Oh, what is it called? GitHub? No Cargo? No, it's not No Cargo. It's not NERSC. It is Crane, and that's what it is. So I like Crane a bit better because, you know what, I might as well just show you guys. So this is the flake that builds Notado.app. And so one of the nice things that I like about this is that you can build the dependencies and the binary separately as separate things. So, oh my god, it's been a while. Alright, so here we have cargo artifacts. So you build the deps only, and that's one derivation. And then you can inherit those artifacts, the build deps, before you even start. So like I think the way that I understand it is that if you don't make a change to the dependencies and you only make a change to your application code, then only this derivation needs to be rebuilt, because nothing has changed here in the build deps, which is, you know, everything in cargo.lock. I really should, this is the thing, right? Like in my head I'm like, yeah, I really should migrate the flake build for Coolish as well to Crane, but you know, I don't think it's that slow, to be honest. Locally, once you've got caching in place, this first build is taking a little bit, I gotta say. I don't know if it would be that much faster. So Satunki is another one. This one's actually open source, so I can get everything on up here. And you know, it's kind of based on the Notado flake as well, because the stack is very similar. I think the only difference in the stack is that instead of Rocket, this uses Actix Web. And this one is also building some Go modules as well. So this one is using Crane, the same kind of pattern here, cargo artifacts. That's the cranelib.build deps only, and then the Satunki workspace, which is the package being built. So this was the first time build. It took 10 minutes, so it took 10 minutes. 9 minutes of that was the actual Nix build, and then you can see the post action here. All of the custom built stuff was getting pushed to this address is, I guess, the local address that the Magic Cache is running on, and then it goes from there to the GitHub Actions cache backend, and like this sits in between the middle of the runner and the final, you know, the S3 like that is backing the GitHub Actions cache. So I am a little bit surprised, because I thought that Satunki had way more dependencies than Coolish. So I wonder if I got like a bad runner, or maybe the deps are actually heavier, or maybe it is a result of Nurse versus Crane. Who knows? Yeah, man, this is taking a hot minute. Already on to 10 minutes. That's crazy. Anyway, Rust is Rust. Takes a while to build, but you do have all of that beautiful, beautiful safety that stops you from shooting yourself in the foot at runtime on production. So while we're waiting for that still to build, why don't I walk you all a little bit through Satunki. So I posted this today in a couple of places. I posted this on Hacker News, on Reddit, on Lemmy, a couple of different Lemmys, mainly on programming.dev. and it is a temporary elevated access management solution as a self-hosted service. So you can think of this as, in an organization, generally you'll have mappings of, individuals and teams. They have access to stuff, the minimum amount of stuff being permissions that they require to do that job. But if a feature belonging to a given team has an issue in production, generally that team is going to need to escalate that permission level to be able to use, monitoring, look at logs, whatever it is. They're going to need some extra permissions to be able to look at and interact with things that they don't always need to, especially on production environments. Now, in a lot of companies, right, the way that works, especially smaller companies and growing companies, is that you ping a guy on Slack, send him a DM. It's like, things are going bad, I need this, can you give me this permission? And maybe if you're lucky, it's tracked in a Jira ticket somewhere. Usually not. And as time goes on, more and more compliance requirements, something tends to get built out in-house. I've built out a number of these in-house. And basically this is a mechanism where individuals in teams can request elevated access for a specific period of time with a justification. And it puts a whole framework in place on top of that. So you can define, as an instance administrator, you can define a specific policy, right? So let's say there is a feature that in order to debug it, a team usually will need access to storage on GCP and AWS and analytics on Cloudflare. So you can make the storage analytics read-only policy, and you can say, okay, we want to give this GCP IAM role, this AWS IAM role, and this Cloudflare role to whoever gets approved for this. Then, a user can go and say, hey, I want to request this policy for 10 minutes on these accounts, these named accounts, and then there's a request that can be approved or denied, and you have a justification there. You can look at it in a UI as well with some logging and some auditing. And it's a much better way to work when you have a proper audit trail, some form of notification system, especially if you integrate it with Slack. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm planning on doing a full video to show how to get up and running with the development, because I'm actually looking for collaborators on this. So this is going to be a whole separate video. This is just a little taste of what you can do with Satunki. But I'm not going to derail this video too much longer because this is built. So this is Kulish. The initial build took 11 minutes, 1 second. Not bad for a clean build. Then it spent 2 minutes uploading via the magic cache all of our built dependencies in the Nix store. The last one was blocked, I guess. It happens. It keeps retrying, and then in this case, that last one failed. Finishing the upload is optional anyway, so it's not a failure. And you run this enough times and everything gets cached along the way. So yeah, that is how you go from no CI to a CI where you can validate your changes using Nix. Yeah. You can tell this was an unplanned video. I had the rough idea, and I thought, you know what, I'm sure there is somebody else out there who's come from a more traditional CI background, who doesn't love GitHub Actions all that much. Maybe they know Nix. And if they do, this is a much better way to leverage all the work that you've already done in your Nix Flake on CI as well. I hope that you guys also were interested by the project Kullish. I think it's a really cool way to look at how people are interacting with each other, discussing the same thing on different subreddits, on different websites. For me, I find it to be really helpful to get me outside of my, I guess, what's that word? Outside of my own bubble, I guess. Yeah, so do check it out. There is a extension that you can use. It integrates also really nicely with Notado. And even if you don't want to integrate it with Notado, every comment has this save this comment link where you can get the whole comment with all the metadata as raw JSON to save for later in your own system. You can also right-click, save this to Notado, and if you want to share it, you can generate a quote back, which you can embed in your websites. All right, my friends, that is it for today. I hope that whatever you all do today, you have a great day. Free Palestine. And I'll see you all back here next time. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.